Hi, everybody. Honoring your adoptive parents. A few days ago I went on YouTube and I did a search for a video about honoring your adoptive parents, and I actually couldn't find a single one. And so I went on Google and I tried to find an article on honoring adoptive parents, and I actually couldn't find one on that either. So there's obviously a need to speak about this. I am an adoptive parent, and I'm also a parent of a natural child. And so I've got a lot of experience in adoption. And what I've noticed is that older children seem to forget their adoptive parents and over time. A lot of it has to do with just the normal estrangement that goes on. But some of it in particular has to do with being adoptive. The children often, even the adoptive marriages, the family of the adoptive children, the marriages don't turn out a lot of times. There's additional stress on the marriages, and the adoptive parents aren't generally told that the child is going to come into their home with a wound to their soul, like this deep sense of loss from being disconnected from their birth mother and birth father. And so there's a lot of problems related to trust and related to just finding their way in the world. Most adoptive parents help their children to find their birth parents. It's something that they would want to have happen to them, and so they help them out, find a birth family and all their other siblings, half siblings, and birth parents. Not always do they find them all, but then they honor them. They put them on their Facebook, and they start to include them in their family gatherings and that sort of thing. Now, the more people you include in your circle, the less people you can only have so many people in your circle because we've only got so much time. So what happens is adoptive parents, for example, they stop getting Mother's Day cards and Father's Day cards. They're not honored in that way. They stop getting birthday cards and as well. They stop getting visits, okay, to their city, wherever they're living, to their home. They're the ones doing the visiting to the adoptive children, but the adoptive children aren't returning the visit back. So there's a lot of problems with it, okay? On Facebook, if you're not honoring your parents, your adoptive parents, and you're a grown-up child, that is a real slight to your adoptive parents. It's a real insult, as a matter of fact. It's a huge smack in the face. They raised you, they've included you in their family, they've stood up for you, they've defended you in schools. A lot of adoptions include interracial adoptions, so not only that, but your parents have had to defend you in that regard. And they too have run into prejudice just for their adoption. One of the things that adoptive children seem to have is sort of a chip on their shoulder, sort of a resentment, an anger to the world. Just like I said, it has to do with this wound to the soul. The adoptive parents didn't cause that wound, okay? The adoptive parents were screened. They were approved for the adoption. They had to go through all kinds of hoops, 6-month-long home studies, divulging every little secret about yourself, finding out you're not approved because, perhaps there was a health concern, as there was in my case. My husband had had cancer and wasn't able to have children, and they weren't going to allow us to adopt because they said, well, he was just going to die in, a little while, and they didn't want to leave a child without a father. So we had to actually get a doctor to sign a sworn statement that he had been cured from cancer. And seeing how this was way back in 1977, the doctor went way out of his way to do that. And so honor your mom and dad, honor your adoptive parents. Don't shut them out of your life. Don't stop telling them about your children. Don't stop including them on your Facebook. Don't stop allowing them to see your photos. It hurts like hell. It really does. And the adoptive parents didn't expect this to happen. They were there for you. You should be there for them. And if they get angry with you and they are upset with you because you're not reciprocating their love, then, please look in the mirror, because it's not them. Okay, it's not them. They love you. They've loved you from the day you stepped foot in their house. Another thing I want to mention is there's an awful lot of videos out there honoring parents who gave up the baby, honoring the mother. Well, the mother might have thought she was doing the best thing for the baby, but I don't really think we should be honoring those parents, because they actually wounded their baby by giving the baby up for adoption. So it's so ironic, the world that we live in today. The adoptive parents don't get recognition that they deserve. They're not honored in the manner that they should be, and yet we're honoring the ones who injured the baby, the ones who gave the baby up for adoption. And no, I'm not talking, just because it's me. I've done my research, okay? The statistics are out, okay? And there's something like 1 in 3 adopted children do not bond, and they have all kinds of major problems because of it. And it's not that the parents aren't loving to the child. They've been approved. It's that the child has rejected the parents, and especially the mother. And why? Because the baby's been in the other mother's womb for 9 months, and it's grown a bond with the mother, and it's born, and it's like, where's my mom? Like, I was ripped away from my mom, and it hurts, and they carry that hurt around in their heart the rest of their lives. So I want to tell, I just want to say, I adore my adopted children, and I adore my natural child, and I like to be a part of your life, and I want all adoptive people, families, to be closer, and to just love one another. Just love one another and understand nobody wants to hurt anybody. Just be kind to one another and honor one another. Thank you for watching.